Hi, students. So, welcome to my classes and welcome back to Mr. Preston's classes. So, the turn in looked pretty good this week. I think you guys are starting to get a little bit of a end of the year kind of tired. So I need you to continue working hard. We're on week 9, kind of home stretch. You guys have a long weekend this weekend. So in my update, you will see this link video and then continuing the Class Connect discussion board. The schedule is going to be different for that. So keep in mind, no class, no class meeting on Monday. Tuesday, we will connect through the discussion board. First period 9 o'clock, second period at 10 o'clock, third period at 11 o'clock. I'll be online during, of course, that whole time, but for your particular class period, it'd be kind of a quick response during that, for sure, 30 minutes. Wednesdays, fourth period, 9 o'clock, fifth period on Wednesday, 10 o'clock, and then sixth period Wednesday, 11 o'clock. All right. Please, before you message me, make sure you watch this video and then also check the lesson over. At least pull up the Google Doc, and I would even watch the crash course video so that way you can articulate the question or the confusion that you have. So next week there's only one assignment. It's a 10-point graded assignment. It is very similar to Mr. O'Hare's lesson. What Miss Elroy has done is you have a document, and then there is just, I believe, 2 videos that you're going to be watching in there, and then answering questions, kind of moving through it. So it's pretty slick. I did the lesson, and it took me like literally an hour. And at that time, I was also changing the Google Doc to make it a little more streamlined for you. So it should take you less than an hour because you don't have to edit it for anyone. So where are you going to find the lesson? In the materials folder. And then we're in Unit 4 still, and week 9. The details for the assignment, use directions. Please read the directions and use the directions and the links to provide your proof of learning. Some of you last week, you did not do all the steps. So I don't know if you fully have the concepts or not. So I can't give you a 10 because you're not to standard. So if you're at remedial level, um, that's more like a 7. So I need you to complete all the sections. That's the requirement. So if you have technical troubles, I want you to use the resources in the materials folder called Distance Learning Docs and Technology Tricks. Let me show you where that is. In Schoology, under materials, you normally see 3 things: online learning, pink folder, past classroom learning, and then distance learning documents and technology tricks. This folder has been out here for quite some time. You're not looking at it. I've rearranged it a bit. I don't know. I thought maybe that would help you guys. So like I have a to folder within the folder. So here's your resources if you're having technical troubles. Miss Fearson made a couple videos. She did a wonderful job. So we're just all the science teachers are filtering them through to our classes. So anyway, for next week, here we are, online learning, Unit 4, week 9. Remember, I pre-record my lessons, so this will be live pink for Monday. But for right now, week 8 is what we still have live. So let's look specifically at the assignment. In this folder for week 9, you are just going to see week 9 assignment. The modified assignment, small groups. Those of you that meet small groups with special ed, you will have access to that through your small group person, leader, teacher. If anyone out there is really struggling with the lesson, I will absolutely feed you a modified assignment if that means you will do the assignment as opposed to getting a 0. So reach out to me individually if you're not able to do the week 9 assignment as is. Let's look at the week 9 assignment. Okay, so with this lesson, Did I already tell you? This is my third recording of this video, so I can't remember what I already told you. But I did the lesson. It took me under an hour. So we are pulling together our information from sixth grade. What is life? Remember, we learned about organisms. All living things are organisms. All living things are made of cells. So you're going to be thinking about what is an organism? How do organisms get energy? So this is going to be covered, and what is a food web, and how do organisms interact with each other, and how can they impact the organism's survival? All of these things right now in this step one are pre-think questions. You may write them down here for your answers, or just do some thinking about them. But after step five, you should know these answers because they're going to be covered in the lesson. So, step one, pre-think questions, stop and think. Optional answering them right here. It says I and B, but you could just answer them right here. Then you're going to be watching a crash course video. The crash course video is about 15 minutes, and you're just going to be taking a few notes from the video. Don't try and catch everything. Basically, 5 things that stuck out as learning for you that's going to help you with food webs, organisms, interacting with each other, kind of the key things that we're learning about. Have these 5 questions help guide your notes right here. Summarize your own notes. 2 sentences. What was that crash course about? Then you're going to have kind of an opportunity to use the vocabulary that she talks about in that video. I don't think it would be a bad idea if you guys read these definitions before you watch that crash course, so that then when she talks about producers, it sounds familiar. When she talks about omnivores, it sounds familiar. These definitions, this work is done for you. All we want you to do here is either insert an image, or you could just text, like type in a word for an example of it. So give an example that's an herbivore from your understanding, okay? Then for the food web, you're going to create your own food web based on this concept. She will cover in the video what a food web is. Make sure you include arrows with your food web. Why don't you just take it? This is quite extensive. It's awesome. You can do it extensively. Maybe just go 5, kind of like 5 levels, if you will. Kind of comes the money, as I used to say. Connection, food web, application. You are going to link what we're learning in week 9 with what we've already learned in week 8. Create an orca-focused food chain using Google Images. This video from Ms. Fearson explains how to insert Google Images. Include information from last week's work and the following resources to guide your work. Include 5 organisms in your food chain. Orca should definitely be one of them. Think about, what does orcas eat? What does that organism eat? What does that organism eat? And then what in the Puget Sound does that organism eat? So kind of think of it working backwards in a way. Okay. And again, this link is Ms. Fearson helping you do a Google image. Those of you that kind of want to take this further, fantastic article, but it's optional. You don't need to read it. Then we're going to learn about a couple new vocabulary words, abiotic and biotic. You're going to define those 2 words. Then I want you to explain how abiotic and biotic factors affect organisms in a given ecosystem. So that's very general, all right? Then how do abiotic and biotic factors affect orca populations? So again, very similar. We're taking it from what is this concept? What is this concept in general? And then related to orca. So very similar to what is a food web? Give an example of a food web, and then think about the food web of an orca. All right, same thing with abiotic and biotic. Okay, and then you're at step 5 already. This little video, I think it is, okay, I think this video is like 10 minutes long. I don't remember. Really good, very clear. All right, it's going to explain to you these trophic levels. So here is a pyramid picture. You'll see images online where the trophic levels look different. Sometimes there's more trophic levels, sometimes there's less. Um, it's almost like cannot think right now of another image that varies when you look online. Okay, I wanted to give you guys an example. So remember how we did the 5 kingdoms of life last year? And remember how we used our hand? Okay, here's another image of the kingdoms of life, and they're calling it as 6. So my point is, this week with trophic levels, you might see different images. Just use this one here, okay? So we're talking about level 1, 2, 3, and 4. What we want you to do is use the model below and describe what's happening with the energy and the matter in the different trophic levels. So just think about their relationship. What's the relationship of the energy, the matter that's happening at level 1, and how does it affect level 2? So basically, like um, what's happening, you've got plants, and then what's happening to those plants? What's happening to that which ate the plant and got the energy? And then you're just kind of moving up it. Okay. So it's just having that understanding about what's happening up these different levels, and what is this these different trophic levels. Okay. Then the last piece, you are just going to culminate your learning with some application questions. Break them down, don't make them harder than they are. Simply think about, okay, so I understand the food web and I understand that all organisms eat. Okay, so let's think about week 8 and the orcas. So what's going on in the orcas or ecosystem? Remember that runoff stuff? How is that affecting its ecosystem? Okay, so if that ecosystem is being affected by the runoff, well, then what's happening to its diet with the food web? That's where I want you guys. Okay, so just kind of try and grapple with that and just narrow it down to your thinking, your connections. All right, and you'll be go. All right, guys, so that's it for our lesson for next week. You are going to be taking a survey again for the data, but this time it's going to be specifically about science, okay? 7th grade science. So for the class period, you're going to be saying what period you've got me, and then best describes your feeling about completing your work in class, all right? So all of these, what's most difficult for you with these lessons, how many hours you typically spend on them. With this question, some teachers were talking, if you're focused on the lesson, count that. If you're also chatting offline, don't count that. So kind of keep it true to like when you're focused and how long it's taken you. Um, what's your thought about the workload? And then ability to do it without a parent, and then being able to follow the steps. And then this one, just kind of go with our discussion board. Like, do you ever type questions on the discussion board? Um, and then do just not use it at all or whatever it is. Um, so if, yeah, I wish there was a spot for an other. I don't think there is. If you've got other feedback that's not on this survey, will you message me? So that way, I don't know what's happening in the fall, you guys, to change whatever is not working now so that I've got practice for in the fall. Does that make sense? So if you've got suggestions, just message me with them, okay? May or may not change them if we got a majority that are doing fine, but I want to hear them. Okay. So you reach out to me, you tell me what you're thinking. This is the survey the district's having me send out, but I'm inviting you to message me with other suggestions that you kind of wish were asked on the survey or whatever. All right. Okay. Miss you guys. You're doing great. Keep it up. Okay. Virtual hug. Okay. Bye.